you know, you know, you know what this whole anxiety thing is all about. You're here because you've experienced it. You've experienced it like the vast minority has, okay? Everybody has anxiety all over the world. It's an umbrella term. We know this. Under anxiety comes loneliness, comes shame, uncertainty, discontent, pain, all kinds of things. You have sadness, loneliness, grief, depression, all that in there, okay? And we could normalize it, say everybody experiences this, which we do on a spectrum. Of course we do. You know, anxiety is so normal as far as the sweaty palms, as far as the increased heart rate, as far as the biological factors of increased norepinephrine and cortisol, okay, rushing through the body. Okay, we have thoughts that just go right into the future and tell a story, and we just get so sucked into this story that we completely lose our sense of presence. This has an effect on the body. We've all had those digestive issues, haven't we? We've all had the tightness of muscles. We've all had the sweats. We've all had nerves. But if you're here, it's most likely because anxiety is maybe chronic and it's coming up in your life more than you want to, straight up. It's like, I wish this wasn't the case. How many times have you said that? I wish this wasn't what my life was like. Why is this happening to me? Why can't I be like everybody else? Why can't I just glide through a simple walk to the store? What's with this social anxiety? I'm not necessarily scared of people. I just don't feel comfortable in crowds. Why can't I be comfortable? Why does this have to be so hard? Yeah, and those questions are perfectly legitimate. Of course they're going to pop up. And the things you see online, I'm going to go through 6 things, and I'm not going to drag this out, but real quick, the things you see online right now, especially from men, okay? I consider myself a sensitive man, and I have a healthy sense of pride with that, okay? But what you're seeing from toxic masculinity is that the gym can heal everything. The cold plunge can heal everything. I can go in a cold plunge longer than anybody on the internet. I do it. I don't brag about it. It's what I do. I do cold showers all the time. I jump in the ocean in the North Pacific. It's 0 degrees. Big deal. Okay? I go to the gym. It doesn't cure everything. It doesn't. Okay? It helps. It's a tool. But to think that this whole anxiety thing in your life is just going to blossom and be figured out and the red carpet's going to just lay out right in front of you because you did some bicep curls, that's not it. It's part of it. Okay? So if you're beating yourself up right now because you followed maybe a few people and you're doing these plans of working out and getting your body ready, this is one piece of the pie. It could be a fairly large piece. For a lot of people it is. Some people are like, yeah, sugar was my only problem. I got rid of sugar, anxiety gone. Great. That's you. That's not me. So let's go through 6 things that I think will really be useful to you to just chill out and listen to. Okay, just chill for a bit. And let's go through this because I wouldn't be talking about this if I didn't experience it myself. Guys, my anxiety was so bad I was in the hospital just dealing with chronic pain. Massive headaches that were both physiological with my neck and a whole bunch of stuff that needed to be sorted out. But my body could not shut down. It could not calm down. Do you know what it's like getting up every single morning in pain? Not wanting to live because what's the point of living if you're in absolute pain and anxious all the time? Okay? So I empathize with you. I do. And I'm really sorry that it's hard for you. And I know it sucks. And to wish it was different, I get it. That's a healthy thing to wish. That's a healthy wish. Okay? So let's go through a few things that I think will be helpful. Number 1, don't try to overcome it. Don't try to overcome it. When I say overcome anxiety, it's because people are typing it in YouTube and maybe this will be shown. The overcoming, what does that mean? Does that mean to have 0 anxiety for the rest of your life, right? When people are thinking, I'm going to meditate because I want no thoughts, I want my mind to be still. Nobody has that. It's an unrealistic expectation. So overcoming it means knowing the territory. Overcoming it means you're still experiencing some anxiety in your life, but you're able to hold it. You're able to live with it with a little more space, right? I've talked about in other videos where you're either in anxiety, you are anxious. I am anxious, meaning, it's in you, it's on you, right? Or I'm feeling anxious, which I'm feeling anxious. I am anxious. I'm feeling anxious. I'm with the anxiety, or I am the anxiety. And a lot of you are also dealing with, sometimes we have a lot of the causation correlation is anxiety goes with depression. You got the zipper of anxiety on one side, the other zipper, both teeth of depression, and you just zip it together and they got a hold on you and you're wearing that jacket. And if you can create a bit of space and not try so hard to have an expectation of overcoming, to deleting, to getting rid of, to being anti, that puts you in the fight. That puts you in the push. That puts you in the repression. That puts you in the suppression. And what we want to do is more of an acceptance for what's here, what's coming. And this doesn't mean to do nothing about it. This means that while you're doing some of the things that I'll talk about here, you're not beating yourself up for it. The expectation isn't to have zero. So when we try so hard to have zero anxiety, have zero intrusive thoughts, have zero bad sleeps, have zero pain, then if it's 1% anxiety, we're upset and we're beating ourselves up. If we have a little flash of elbow pain, then we're beating ourselves up because, man, did I feel something. And people with anxiety are sensitive to more of these things. We are more sensitive to pain, actually. We are more sensitive to headaches. We are more sensitive, a sunburn. We are just more sensitive individuals. There's a sensitivity to the environment. So we need to be extra gentle with ourselves. This goes for men. This goes for men. Again, the farmers out there, majority are men, okay? Let's say they're planting crops, man. They're planting crops and all these hardworking men out there. And they plant the seed and they let it go. They don't see the crop for weeks or months. You water it, you let the sun do its thing. You water it, you let the sun do its thing. You have to be gentle with the crop. You have to give it time. You have to let it do what it's doing. And somehow with our bodies, we have to attack. We have to fight. We have to keep going, keep pushing. More chin-ups, more curls, more cold plunges, more masculinity. A big part of masculinity is being patient with yourself, is giving yourself what you need. And in the overcoming of anxiety, being patient with yourself is how you're going to do this. And to have a softer expectation of what overcoming actually means. Okay? In the Conquer Anxiety course I put together, conquer anxiety meaning not to conquer it and delete everything. To conquer meaning before a battle, you know the territory, you know what you're dealing with. And then you can conquer something, meaning to know it. So that's number one. Don't try to overcome it. Don't put so much energy into it that you're creating just a head-to-head fight with it. Then you're fighting against yourself. Okay? Set your expectations of realistically, what would I want to happen with this sense of anxiety through the day? What if I could get it down 10%? What would that do for me? What about 3%? What if I could just do a few things to help myself sleep at night? Okay? So be gentle with yourself in that case. And number two, this is huge here, is know yourself and know your triggers. This is massive. When we don't know who we are, we're constantly in people-pleasing mode. I know all about that one. Oh my gosh. We're in people-pleasing mode. Meaning, we're going to have to put on a mask, put on some kind of persona to be able to meet somebody else's needs before ours. We're constantly emptying our tank. And we're constantly aware and sensitive already to the environment around us, which is why people with anxiety are more people pleasers. We're sensitive to the feelings around us and other people's needs and other people's feelings. And if you've had somewhat of an interesting childhood, you are there to alleviate suffering around you and to lighten things up and make sure, people are doing well around you. So what you'll do is you'll be the best person in the room. You'll help everybody else before you help yourself. And when you're attuned to all of these things, you're on constant threat mode. You're in constant alert of how's that person doing? How's that doing? Okay, am I sitting in the right position? Are they looking at me that way? How am I looking to that person? How are they looking to me? Are they okay? Is this okay? Is that in the right place? And you have to notice this, that knowing yourself and knowing these kinds of triggers. To know a trigger is one small part of the whole anxious experience. To know a trigger is a really good thing. But to know how it makes you explode on the inside is the more interesting part, right? So the trigger of a gun is the very small part of a weapon. But the ammunition, the bullet, the gunpowder, the actual mechanism is a much larger part. The barrel, the handle, it's a huge part of a weapon. So you think about that as far as triggers. The trigger is just a little thing. But what is it inside you that makes you react? And this is about knowing yourself. This is it. It's about being open, whether it's in coaching, whether it's in therapy. It's about talking about these things openly. Seeing, yeah, I get anxious in that moment. What's that all about? Yeah, that really triggers me. Okay, so you know a trigger. Awesome. Let's deal with that. Let's see what that's all about. Let's see what happens inside you when that goes on in your environment. Can you see how if you really, really know yourself, you know your triggers, you know the kinds of people that might set you off on the inside, there's a preparation that comes with that. And there's also an acceptance that comes with that. Like, I know who I am. And what do you call those people who really know who they are? You call them content. And you say, you're so sure of yourself. What's the other S word? You're so secure. You're so secure. And what do we call the people that aren't sure of themselves? Who are just, erratic and people-pleasing and getting everywhere and doing this for that person, that for that person. Yes, we call them servers in some way, but we also call them insecure. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they stand for. They don't know what they believe. They don't have their feet on the ground. So to get to a place of security means that you get to know yourself. So write that one down. So we have 1, don't try to overcome it, be gentle. Number 2, get to know yourself. And getting to know yourself is through a therapeutic process. Okay? It also has, I had to spend money. To get to know myself, I had to spend some money. I did coaching programs. I did therapy. I've done silent retreats. I've worked with spiritual directors. And a part of me in the back of my mind goes, man, oh man, what a privilege, you, Scott. How dare you take all of this help just for you? I need it. Simple. I need it. Not everybody else does. I do. So I got what I needed. Knowing yourself is about knowing what you need. What do you need? What will help? And go get it. Okay? Number 3, when you are being gentle with yourself, when you are getting to know yourself, when you are taking steps, number 3 is self-compassion. All this needs to be in a bubble of self-compassion, in a parachute of self-compassion. Did you ever play that parachute game when you were a kid in the gym? And everyone would have the parachute, all the kids would be around and whoosh, whoosh. And I think you'd go whoosh, and then you'd all put it behind you and go under the parachute. And for some reason, when you're a child and even as an adult, you feel safe under something, under that parachute. I feel safe in a tent when you made a fort as a kid. I was playing with my nieces and we went kind of under the sheets. We made a bit of a fort and we're just like, oh my God, okay, hide. And there's a safety. They love the safety of that. You feel warm, you feel cozy, you're away from the outside world a bit. So self-compassion is creating a layer of safety around you. Self-compassion is not weakness. And just a little heads up, I'm going to be working with men only in a future coaching program that's around self-compassion. And it's not a weakness. The most masculine men have a high sense of self-compassion. It's not a weakness. It's the ability to suffer with yourself. Compassion comes from the Latin word compati, which means to suffer with. To be able to be with yourself in times of suffering, not against yourself. We feel like the way forward is to beat ourselves up for motivation. That got me to where I am today, so I can't be mad at it. But it's to knock yourself down saying, how could you, why could you do better next time? Versus, man, good try. Let's go for it again next time. Let's really push it next time. Self-compassion is having firm boundaries. There's a whole bunch of things that revolve around self-compassion, which I won't get into now. But that's number 3, is really to be able to have a safety bubble around yourself. And a lot of us with anxiety have a deep, deep, deep inner critic. You know, you could be insulted by 7 billion people, and they can't say a single thing that's worse than what you've told yourself. Comment if that's true for you. Comment and say amen. Because it's a sad truth, but admitting that is getting to know yourself. Back to number 2. It's, man, I am hard on myself. Man, the way I speak to myself is, wow, I would never speak to my parents. I would never speak to my friends that way. Why would I speak to myself that way? Okay. Now, number 4, I talked about this at the beginning. Exercise, cold plunge, walking, the gym, spin classes, push-ups, sit-ups, whatever it is. It doesn't necessarily need to be calm stuff. When it comes to, working with the body, yes, there is a fight or flight response. There is a fight or freeze response, and you want to get into a parasympathetic response, of course. When I feel anxiety and I feel a restlessness, there's a song by Gordon Lightfoot. It's a kind of a restless feeling, and it catches you off guard. As we gaze into the distance through the trees in my backyard, I can feel the restless yearning. Something. Catches you off guard, doesn't it? And when it catches me off guard, it's either I sit with it and go through my meditative practices, or I got to go do something. I have to move my body. I actually have to do something that's adrenaline inducing. Go move, go lift something, go for a run, do something exciting, get your mind off it, distract yourself, right? Distraction is just a change of focus. Change your focus, okay? Because the more we go into it all the time and self-analyze and, again, be critical about it, the more we have a pattern of every time we feel anxious, we're taking time to always cuddle with it. Sometimes that's necessary to appreciate ourselves, to be self-compassionate in that way. Another way to be self-compassionate is to move away from it. Goes back to number 2 every time, getting to know yourself and what you need in any given circumstance. Sometimes you need the exercise and the cold plunge. You need to go for a run. You need to lift heavy. Other times you need to cuddle your partner. Men don't admit to cuddling? Losers. Sometimes you need to watch some cartoons on TV. Sometimes I need to break out the guitars. Okay? Knowing yourself is what you need. So exercise, massive. Now there's so many studies. I'm sounding like a broken record, but most people who watch this stuff aren't subscribed. So I'm doing my master's of neuroscience, and when you talk about people online sharing studies about anxiety and antidepressant use and exercise, looking at the studies, everyone says this, where exercise is as if or more effective than antidepressant use. the peer-reviewed articles for these things, just like the people claim that drinking aspartame is worse, or sorry, drinking aspartame is worse than having a Coca-Cola, or drinking aspartame is better than having a Coca-Cola, and they'll always have these specific peer-reviewed articles that hold no water, but it's one article, and they can cite it. And I'm citing my work, therefore it's true. And look, the scientific community has some kind of consensus about it. That's not the way it works. So if you go into, looking through this about anxiety and what should I do, and be careful of who you're listening to. I'm never giving you straight up advice. That's what the coaching's for that I do off YouTube. But please be careful of who you listen to and who condones maybe it's medication, okay? Who condones pharmaceuticals. There's going to be people here that say mushrooms cured me. Magic mushrooms cured me. I took some golden teacher. I got some penis envy, did a massive trip, 6 grams, 7 grams, went to a shaman, did ayahuasca, whatever it is. Be happy about it. Be happy for them. They did something that worked. Other people will have the story, all I did was exercise and I cut sugar and I've been going to the gym 3 times a week, anxiety gone. Way to go, man. Other times people will say, yeah, I'm taking 20 milligrams of this and then 10 milligrams to help myself sleep at night. Think, who are you to judge? Who am I to judge what works for somebody? What people are trying? What's helping someone on their journey? What people are experimenting with? Who are we to force somebody to change? We don't have that power. So be on your path, seek some kind of, not necessarily advice all the time, but seek some options, look at options. But back to number 2, get to know yourself and what works for you, okay? So we have number 5 here. And each of these I'll put into separate videos and we could talk about each and what we can do. Number 5, this is so big. You can define anxiety sometimes as the dizziness of freedom. You like that one? The dizziness of freedom. You have energy and you don't know where to put it. Anxiety is a lot of energy, isn't it? You feel it. It takes energy. It's boom, 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 boom. Muscles tighten. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of ATP to tighten these muscles, right? It takes a lot of glucose, a lot of glycogen to just get this body moving, get these sweat glands opening. Anxiety is energy. And if you have a mission, if you have a goal, if you have something worthwhile to strive for, that's your focus. That's where you can put your energy. Okay? And energy, not in a mystical sense, okay? I'm not going into this energy vibration stuff. I'm sorry, there's a lot of channels for that. I'm staying a little more grounded with us. I hope you don't mind. My mission, okay? Let's just talk about me for just a quick sec. My mission is to help people on the journey. All right? My focus, to be honest, is on Christ and how to follow in his footsteps. Where do I align in Christ's compassion, in his kindness, in how he treated people? Right? Like, you think Christ was a Republican? You think he was a Democrat? You think he was white with blue eyes and long hair? Okay? How can you be like the person that you read about? So even if you aren't religious in the slightest, what do you value? What do you value about the world? What do you value about yourself? What are your moral principles? What do you love doing? What do you like doing? Where's your mission? Where's your time being spent? So if you're anxious and maybe you have a lot of time on your hands, maybe you don't know where to put your energy. Maybe you're on disability and you're not working, so you're not sure what to do, and there's a lot of anxiety in that. Anxiety comes with transitions and change, for sure, because you don't know where to put your energy. There's a lot of moving pieces. Let's say you move to a different country, different city. You have a transition in a job. There's a lot of unknowns. So know where the anxiety, again, is coming from. It could be that there's just a lot of moving parts right now. And what you may need is to just have a mark. Have a mark. And when you have a mark and you just strive for it, And if you miss your mark, you know what that is in archery, right? It's sin. Sin is missing the mark. And that's kind of true from a Christian sense as well. We really miss the mark sometimes when we sin. We really miss the mark when we make a mistake. It doesn't mean it's intentional. It means that we're human beings and we're not perfect. We're going to miss the mark all the time. But go for it. Put a mark in the sand. Crawl towards it. Walk towards it. But at least you have a bit of a compass, a little bit of a focus as to where to go. Okay? So that's a big one is, what are we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, that was 5. And then number 6 is huge. Loneliness is the epidemic we have today. And it's difficult to talk about. And chances are, if you're feeling extremely anxious, a lot of us have smaller communities, have maybe smaller families we don't stay in touch with a lot, or maybe not a large friend group. Or we have all of that and we're still anxious. Okay, so there's no necessarily like black or white rules when it comes to who deals with anxiety and who doesn't. Everyone tries. Oh my gosh, the way we try to do this is hilarious. I did a paper on low consumption countries versus high consumption. I like those terms better than developed or developing, okay? And people always think, yeah, it's the rich people, the people that have everything, and they have so much money and they have, nothing to worry about, that then they make up their own problems and they deal with anxiety. Wrong. People in low consumption countries have way higher suicide rates and anxiety rates. Way higher, okay? It doesn't matter the nationality, the color of your skin, ethnicity, it doesn't matter age, gender. This is why, like, beating yourself up for something like this, don't. We had very little control over it when these things were developing. There's genetic components, there's environmental components, social components, there's childhood, there's family, all kinds of stuff. Things that weren't under your control. Okay? So the last part, though, is in-person experiences. Let go of Reddit. Let go of Instagram. Let go of the news. Let go of things that don't serve you. You know what I did maybe 6 months ago is I went on my Facebook and I had all these people from high school and university that I just don't talk to be honest. And I just deleted them. I can always reach out if one day we reconnect, but the people I love and talk to, I have their phone numbers and we talk. People on Reddit, people on Instagram, people, acquaintances have nothing to do with where Vanessa and I buy a house. They have nothing to do with when we start a family. They are not coming to celebrate my birthday. They don't know about my work. They don't know about the things that make me anxious and my triggers, right? And there's a loneliness that comes with that you're connected, but you're not connected. So if you can take a break from the online world and focus on your life here, like what really matters here. Do people you follow care about your future? Do they genuinely know you and want to help you? No. Do they know what you're doing right now? No. But are they taking up your time with their content? Yes. Is their content useful to you? Now, I'm not talking about, is it giving you personal goals and is it helping you become a better person? No. Is it entertaining you sometimes too? So look at your Facebook, look at your Instagram, look at your Reddit, and see if this stuff is genuinely serving you. Is it giving you your time? Are you giving your time to these platforms and feeling good about it? Are you feeling good about it? And you ask the average person, do you feel good about the amount of time you spend on your phone every day? 10 out of 10 people will be like, no, I should use it less. Ask any man or woman, are you proud of yourself that you watch porn? Nobody's proud of it. Nobody says, yeah, I watch it 3 times a day. Yep, every single day. I can't wait to get home from work. See how the online world is helping you or holding you back from certain things? Is it distracting you too much? Is it making you see the world in a very skewed way? How is your life right now in front of you, and what can you do about it? Okay? So listen, don't try to overcome it, number one. Know yourself is number two. This is huge. Number three is self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. Talk to yourself like you would a best friend when they're going through hard times. Exercise, not always the calming things in the yoga, but get your heart rate up and get the adrenaline up. Have a mission, have a focus, have a mark. Sin your way there. Make mistakes on your journey. It doesn't matter. Just make a mark in the sand and go for it, okay? The other one is in-person experiences. Friends, if you are a lonely person and feeling lonely, again, self-compassion first. Self-compassion first. Next, what can we do about it? Is online helping me with this stuff? Can I find a group of people online that can help me out? Are there things in my community I can go to, right? Is there a faith-based community group I can go to? Is there tennis lessons, basketball lessons? Are there running groups I can go to, right? There's so many things. And to just change up your routine a little bit, to get out of your comfort zone just a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I mean if you are extremely anxious, and let's say you make your own coffee because well, don't drink coffee. Okay, first of all, you make your own chamomile tea at home, and you're too anxious to go to the coffee shop to get a tea. And one day you leave your condo, leave your house, and you walk 10 steps, and you're right at the door of the coffee shop, and then you turn around. 2 thumbs up. Awesome job. Okay? It's the small, do things small, but progress is progress. It doesn't matter if you're, again, 100% anxiety to 0. Don't make that the goal. That's the unrealistic overcoming. 100% to 99 is progress. Okay? So be gentle with yourself. And, I look at my experience in my life, and it's not easy. It's not easy. It's never easy. And anyone who comes on this platform, and I could name names, but no way, but they say, yep, 0 anxiety. I used to be this guy, and now I'm happy, and I have this, and I have this, and not a worry in the world. Nope, don't trust them. Sorry, snake oil. I still deal with these things. I still deal with a judgmental mind. I still deal with intense, anxious thoughts. We are human. You can't run away from that. Embracing humanity, knowing yourself as an imperfect human, and what this is all about. I hope you know the strength that exists within you. I hope you can recognize that, if not now, one day soon. God bless you, my friend. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope to see you in the comments. And have a great week, and I'll see you next Monday. Take care.